I'm Heili.
I'm Mikalah.
I was born in Evanston, Illinois, and I currently live in Colorado.
I was born in Syracuse and I live in Virgin, New York.
Awesome. And you're studying abroad in Sydney, Australia,
Yes.
right?
Well, my family is Finnish.
My mom's side of the family is white, my dad is black.
I moved to Colorado when I was really young, like 2, I think. So I grew up mostly in the mountains, and I did gymnastics my whole life, and so that was different. I was constantly in a gym. Then eventually moved down from the mountains into a suburb so that I could train more.
I was pretty much born and raised around the same area. I was in an apartment until like I was 7, and then we moved like down the road like 10 minutes. I did music though, you know. Also, I did Big Brother Big Sister in high school.
You're in neuroscience, you're majoring in BME. So what is it like being a woman in a STEM field?
I definitely notice a gender difference in some classes in STEM, particularly like computer science is a big one that I've noticed. There's primarily like boys in some of those classes, and physics as well. But I don't know, majoring in neuroscience, there are quite a bit of girls who are taking those classes and are in like medical majors. So other than a few select classes, it's pretty equal, I would say. And
my college is known for STEM and it's mostly guys, like 70% is guys, but my major is mostly girls. But like if you just walk by like one of the classes, it's like a lot of guys, like a couple girls. But most of my classes are pretty even most of the time.
What would you say you're most passionate about, enjoy doing, or interested in?
I'm really fascinated with things like we don't know, and like learning about like certain parts of the brain that like we haven't figured out yet and things like that. And I guess just kind of being creative with that.
I'm interested in like science because it's my major, but I'm also interested in like the environmental impact that we have, and I like art. Not necessarily good at it, but it's relaxing. And yeah.
Tell me about a time you empowered yourself.
Definitely the decision to come abroad to Sydney by myself without knowing anybody in my group or having a friend come with me. I know a lot of my friends back at my university at home were all planning on going to like Hong Kong together, and it was just kind of like the status quo to like go somewhere together as a group, and I decided to be independent, wanted to do my own thing and experience something and make new friends. So
I would also say coming here, but none of my friends wanted to go abroad. I mean, my one friend did over the summer, but she didn't want to for a long time. And then my mom was like, it's up to you, like you decide. And like it was my first time like on a plane, like the first time traveling by myself. Like I had no friends here, and they're just like, you know, go big. Let's just go on the other side of the world. You know, can't go any farther.
Have you noticed any differences of being a woman in the United States versus in Australia?
I have noticed like almost like a bit more like respect here, which is kind of different, and people are just like friendly in general no matter who you are, and I feel like in some areas of the US you don't always get that, which is kind of refreshing.
What would you tell yourself if you could go back in time when you were dealing with a struggle?
Life goes on, and that you're special no matter what anybody thinks.
I'd probably say that you're making it like 9 times more worse in your head than it actually is, and most people would like help you, or like if you think it's a big deal, they probably wouldn't see it that way.
Have any advice for girls and women who are trying to realize their power and empower themselves, and how should they practice this advice in their daily lives?
We're all stronger than we think we are, and a lot of times our minds can kind of let us down and get in the way of that. But In general, I would just say, like, push yourself to be independent and to go out and do things yourself without having to rely on other people, because it proves a lot to yourself and it shows you how much you can do.
After you do something that like terrified you, it's not that bad. And then like the next time it's like, oh, it was fine last time. I'll be fine this time.
Who taught you the importance of empowerment?
I'd say a lot of it came from one of like the strongest people that I've ever known. So I think I learned a lot from her.
My mom did too, but like it didn't really stick with me. I'm just like, oh, she's my mom. She has to say that. Like, probably the biggest person was my high school AP teacher, because like it was hard. But like at the end of the year, like we were just chilling in his room all the time because he was a great teacher, and he like gave us like all like really like powerful like talks. I'm just like, wow. Like I didn't see myself how like he did. I'm just like, maybe I can do it.
You can't do it. Why do you enjoy and appreciate being a woman and experiencing girlhood? The whole point of global girlhood, as I explained before, is being a woman and being proud of yourself. And even if you empower yourself in a different way or grow up with a different background or a different circumstance, that, you know, we need to support each other as women and just in general as people. So why do you enjoy and appreciate being a woman?
It's like a sisterhood and like to have each other's backs.
So how can the international community help you and your community in a legitimate way?
In general, kind of like being aware that everybody's different and kind of accepting those differences as a whole and possibly like learning from them and being open to different ways of life.
It can show us like, even though we can be like hundreds of miles away, we could still be going through the same things, or we could have like a completely different experience, and we don't have like the right to judge anyone by that.